Today, in Threading Thoughts, we talk about e-bikes for leisure. For people of varying fitness and experience levels, the joys of cycle touring are now within easier reach. A growing availability of electric bicycles or e-bikes gives both avid and novice cyclists a helping hand, making longer distances easily achievable. Many of the bike tour operator partners around the globe are offering e-bikes to make trips more leisurely or difficult terrain more manageable, seeing an increased demand from travelers. Safe, efficient, and environment friendly, these bikes are on demand not only for leisure travel but also for the last mile connectivity. Samarth Kholkar is the CEO and co-founder of BeLive. BeLive is India's first EV experience platform, offering EV experiences across 7 states and online EV store. He leads the growth, customer experience, and technology practices at BeLive. The need to drive adoption of clean mobility inspired Samarth to co-found BeLive along with his partner Sandeep Mukherjee. Prior to BeLive, Samarth was the CEO of Mojo Hospitality Private Limited and led a chain of F&B outlets across India. Samarth spent over a decade in sales and marketing at IBM, where he was a key person in setting up the IBM cloud business in India. Welcome, Samarth. Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast today.
Thanks. It's my pleasure, Nidula, to be a part of this forum, and I hope to add some value on your platform, on your network.
Thank you. I'm sure it will. Samarth, how do you include young children who, of course, might not be safe to ride the e-bikes on their own? How do you include them and make sure that the family is able to come on these tours as a group?
So what essentially we do, Nidula, is that one, electric cycles in itself are a very easy form factor for anybody to try out. So we have comfortably conducted multiple experiences for children starting from the age of 10. So while there is no such formal regulation or government stated rule, as a safety measure, we have kept the lower age limit as 10 years because we feel that giving a slightly motored cycle to anyone younger than that, and also because of the height and other specifications of the bike, it becomes a little difficult for the child to handle it. So we have ensured that we have conducted tours right from the age of 10 up till the age of 75. We have gone on a 3-hour experience, comfortable, enjoyed, and literally asking us that okay, next day we want to go for another one. So from that perspective, it's been extremely popular. For kids below that age group, what we normally suggest is that at some critical locations which have a high footfall of families, we suggest them taking the electric scooter. We have some low-speed electric scooters, okay, which basically allows them to continue that experience with the family, and it doesn't, kind of split the family into, or leave them out of this fun activity that we plan across India. So so from that point of view, we have pretty much taken care of that. And being electric, we still stay on the green platform, okay, and ensure that the experience doesn't go down for our guests.
Wonderful. And how have you adapted and pivoted during this Black Swan event? Disrupted tourism, travel, social distancing are the new buzzwords. So these need to be incorporated in any business plan. So how have you pivoted?
So I think, luckily or unluckily, we were born out of tourism, right? When I say born out of tourism, we wanted to break the clutter, first of all, around experiences, around travel, and introduce sustainable travel, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to ensure that whatever culture and art and history, as well as the environment that we have in beautiful places across India, that gets preserved, for generations to come. So from that point of view, while we are about 1.5 years, 2 years old organization, we've been able to break that clutter. We started off in Goa. Currently, we are in about 12 locations across India in 7 states. And almost in about 4 locations, we are already on the topmost experience in that particular place. We've been recently awarded as TripAdvisor's Traveler's Choice Award, which essentially means that we're in the top 10% in the world. So, which is, quite incredible for a startup like us. And that's where, the whole idea, or the vibe of the entire enterprise lies. Okay, the soul of the enterprise, to not take any challenge and just sit with it, but take it head on, right? And even during this pandemic crisis, which was completely unforeseen, we were going at a very good speed, but unfortunately, the entire summer was disrupted for us, right? Funnily enough, we were actually named as one of the top 15 things to do this summer on National Geographic. Okay,
Awesome.
but we all know what we did this summer, right? So we all stayed at home. So that's actually what happened with us, but we didn't take it as a downside for us. We said that this is a beautiful opportunity to actually put some of the things that we had planned at the back burner. So two things happened. One, because it's a cycling-based activity, it ensured that the social distancing automatically happens. On top of that, we ensured that there were SOPs created from a hygiene and safety protocol point of view. We defined our own before any other statutory requirement came in. We came out with our own guidelines. And today, I'll be happy to share, we in fact launched two new locations. One was Udaipur and Kumbhalgarh, and seeing good amount of clientele from day one. So two things that we learned from this is that domestic tourism is going to go through the roof, because international travel is definitely hit after this pandemic. And second thing is, when you look at a group activity, what do you look at? If you get an experience on an electric cycle, which takes all the effort away, and it gives you the most immersive experience of that particular locality, there's nothing like it. So that's what we are banking on. And just to kind of add to that, we also realized that there was another business opportunity which was sitting right at our doorstep, which we had parked for a later stage. Was that we conducted close to about 7,000, 8,000 tours last year in one whole year. And the guests came back and they said that we love your tour, we love your bikes. Where can we buy them? Okay. So that presented a beautiful opportunity which we said that we should capitalize on. So we launched India's first only electric vehicle store. It's an online store which brings all the top brands together. And also guides the consumer as to which is the right product for you. So imagine in an electric vehicle category, which we all know is booming right now, okay, we would have that terror kind of a position and say that, okay, we are experts, we've been doing this for a while, okay, we understand the electric vehicle ecosystem a little better, we'll be able to guide you. So your trust in me as a consumer will always be at a next level. So these two things we learned during this pandemic has really, re-energized us. We are looking forward to, slightly more normal times. But having said that, it's a great learning, and we are looking at it as an opportunity rather than, a setback.
Oh, wonderful, and it's great that you've expanded to so many cities. My next question sort of leads there. How have you leveraged, existing hotels or other hubs in order to aid this particular business? And could you give a few of your thoughts on that as well?
Sure. So, the way our business operates is that we work on a scheduled basis, unlike a rental or a bike sharing kind of system, right? In which you come to a certain point, okay, at a particular time during the day. It's usually once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and there's a 3-hour curated experience which is created for you. And there's a person whom we call the captain. He's like a guide, okay? He's a local person who essentially takes the entire group around, okay? Now, when we took this proposition to the hotels, every single large hospitality chain is looking at sustainable travel. They're looking at experiences or experience partners also who who are able to drive that message. We have a 3-year exclusive contract with Club Mahindra, who have been, the pioneers in driving sustainability across all their business verticals. And they have been, very supportive because they find it a beautiful experience for their guests, and at the same time, it's clean and green. So when we go to partner with any hotel, what we ask them is that, in terms of maintenance area, in terms of the charging setup, just help us provide the infrastructure or the area for that, and we take care of it. So what happens for them is that there is a premium experience which starts from their doorstep. So for the guests who stay there, they have to just step out of the lobby, walk to my electric bikes, the cool yellow fancy electric bikes, my captain waiting there for them, and go around and come back to the same place. So there's no extra effort or extra cost of taking a taxi to some location, come back, and losing the customer for lunch or other meals.
Right.
So for them, it's a win-win situation that way.
No, that's really interesting. Green and convenient. Have you ever thought of the first mile, last mile, a sort of a plugin that this can actually provide? Is that something that you are even looking at, that space?
So we have been able to carve, as I said, a niche into an area which we are dominating right now. I mean, even if I ask you, right, forget cycling. If I ask you of a unique experience, okay, which you have had in India, which could be whitewater rafting or a paragliding or anything for that matter, right? Or maybe a history walk or something of that sort. If I can ask you, which is that one brand which you can take in 5 locations, I'm sure you will not have a name, right? But that's what we're trying to change here. That when you take a BeLive experience across India, it has that signature style, it has that signature experience, right? So that is how we have, created this. And for us, we feel from a pure business point of view also that the economics make much more sense in this format rather than a public bike sharing where operational costs, the asset costs are much higher.
True. And the maintenance costs and...
But also, as I said, the store business that we've launched, okay, it has a beautiful blend of online as well as offline. Offline because I already exist in so many locations. So if somebody wants to try out electric cycles, they can do it at any of my hubs. When they want to buy, they go online and buy it, and it gets delivered at their doorstep. So that's how we have ensured that electric vehicle experience, which is what we are a platform for, is showcased to the discerning consumer who is basically sitting right at the edge, unable to make that decision because nobody's there to guide him. And that's where the expertise from BeLive comes in and kind of helps them with the last few steps.
No, that's amazing because for most of us, you would like to see, feel, touch whatever you're buying, and it's really interesting that you give the options and the education online, and they can always go and check out a bike and come back and decide what they want to do with it. That's amazing. And
unique demo that we give, and it's a personal demo. So if you go to the website, what we do is you can choose a calendar slot. Let's say tomorrow 3 p.m. You can choose the bike you want the demo of, okay? And it's a one-on-one virtual demo on a Zoom or a Hangout or anything else. So again, keeping the pandemic and the social distancing and other aspects, but it's a personal demo. It's not like a webinar. It's not like a YouTube video which goes in the loop. So if you are from Ooty or you are from Cochin or if you are from Mumbai, the questions you ask will be different. The requirement will be different. And that is where again our EV expertise kind of comes to the table and explains to ma'am, for your benefit, I think this is a better fit. Because it's a multi-brand store. So there is no bias against one brand.
Right. And it's amazing because they'll give you the time for your questions. They'll give you the time to, for your queries and your concerns, which usually does not happen in a store. You have 15 people there. You're usually fighting for any salesperson's time. So this is very good, right? But what impact and change in traffic patterns or even societal behaviors have you noticed once these e-bikes have been introduced for tourism?
So we launched first, as I said, in Goa. Okay. The good thing which has happened is that if you speak to anyone in Goa and talk about electric cycles, they will say BeLive. That's the kind of brand identity that we've created. Okay. Second thing is, I think the awareness about this product existing itself has gone super high. Okay, and this is coming in not just from us, but even the brands that we partner. We don't manufacture our own bikes, but we have all the top manufacturers in India whose bikes we use for our tours. They all look yellow and bright in yellow, but they are made by somebody else. But the awareness that it creates in that location, and again, taking you back to the story, that it's feeding into people purchasing more, cycling more. In fact, in the pandemic period from March to now, all the cycling brands have seen their sales going through the roof, whether it's electric or non-electric. And that's very positive sign, because now people are also moving towards their own personal mobility. They want to avoid shared mobility.
Right.
And if is in that short distance of travel to work, or going to the gym, or going to the store, they don't mind hopping onto an electric cycle. And those are the kind of use cases which are coming when people want to purchase an electric cycle with us.
That's very interesting. More into the regulation part, perhaps. While the Automotive Research Association of India approvals are required, transport rules don't apply to electric vehicles. So what potential risks do you see?
So I think right now electric cycles which have a cap of 25 kilometers per hour, they are all categorized as cycles. So there's no registration, insurance, license which is needed. Okay?
Correct.
I feel at this point of time, it's a growing industry. So there's going to be a lot of evolution which will happen. As I was saying, how safe it would be for kids to ride it. Okay, when I say kids, especially in the under 10 age, is something that we have to keep in mind. Okay, maybe come out with a slightly defined format as to in terms of usage, or in terms of availability also. But I think if I look at it from a large scale point of view, it is any day is a better option if a kid tries out an electric cycle over taking a motorcycle without a license, right? So I think if I have to choose the lesser, I won't call it the evil, but if I want to choose a slightly more safer bet, I think having an electric cycle makes much more sense.
Thank you so much, Samarth. This was really amazing talking to you, and thank you for spending this time. And I'm sure this is going to expand to almost all the cities, and I'm hoping to see one very close to me as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Sure, Varuna. Thank you very much.